If you smell what the Rock is cooking.
Welcome to Billy Ho Sports. Thank you for tuning in. Please remember to subscribe to the channel and don't forget to like and comment on the videos. I hope you enjoy the show. Now, let's go. Hello there, Billy Ho here. It's week 8 NFL, and we are finalizing some game stacks, got injury updates, all kinds of good stuff coming to you. And before we get to that, just to mention, still doing the 250 subs. So check the description of this video for the hashtag Twitter link. It'll take you to the where you need to go to put your DraftKings username in, get you an invite to the free contest. So as soon as we hit 250 subscribers on the YouTubes, we're going to get her done. So be sure to do that. And welcome to the show. This is going to be like kind of a final thoughts thing. It's going to be like the game stacks I went over earlier in the week with some tidbits added on to it, takeaways, practice reports, injuries, value, all that stuff. So we're going to get into that, and we're going to look at all these games, and I'm going to get into some other value plays, some injuries that might have opened up some value, so you can have some pieces to insert in these game stacks to hopefully win some damn money this week, y'all. Let's go. Let's not be chalk donkeys. And that's donkey chalk. You can say it either way you want to. That's a new t-shirt from my collection, my own design. And yes, I know how to Google images of donkeys, and I know how to get them on t-shirts. So it looks pretty good. I like it. So if you want one, hit me in the DMs, check the description, join the Discord, and hit me there too. So I've made t-shirts for several of our members, and they seem very happy with them. So a small fee, shipping and whatnot, and my time and materials. But as long as you're giving proper support to Billy Ho Sports, you'll get a good deal. Trust me. So let's take a look at the big board. All right. So the first thing we're going to do is go over some running backs and maybe some wide receiver value type stuff. So if you didn't know, DeAndre Swift is going to be back this week. So I feel pretty good about him getting into the mix. And that's that Miami-Detroit game. So he's coming in at 6,800. I think that's pretty good value for a guy coming off injury. I don't know he'll get, he'll be on a pitch count or whatever, but I think he gets enough work. He's so efficient, and he can always break one and catch a half a dozen passes for 70 yards. I think that's good value for 6,800. Also, getting down the line, we have just some low-owned, cheaper guys. Chuba Hubbard is out. So if I ever got down here to where Chuba Hubbard was, he has been officially ruled out. I've confirmed that via the NFL Network. So we're going to have more who I liked better, and I just picked him over Chuba last week and got almost 20 DK points because I just thought he was the better player. I was like, who's better? I had Chuba Hubbard last year in best ball, and he just looks slow and doesn't look like he has good vision. I don't like him as a running back at all. Everybody talked like he was the end all be all when Christian McCaffrey was out, but he didn't do jack. But I like Foreman a lot better. So I'm going to keep an eye on him. And obviously the biggest smash spot of the entire week is going to be Zeke Elliott, doubtful. I know it says questionable, but I think they hold him out. I wouldn't be surprised if he played, be honest with you, because for some reason Jerry Jones is like, we're paying for this son of a bitch, so let's pay him. But if he doesn't go, obviously Pollard's going to be the talk of the town. And I don't know. I have to go back and do a little bit of research on how he did rolling solo last year. But a lot of times these smash spot running backs get that opportunity to be the solo guy, and then they just don't get there. So the game script could go wonky. If he's like 25%, I can't say that I'm going to feel real good about going there. So I'm also keeping an eye out on Mostert, who's in a smash spot with his it's a knee. And I think they've been managing it over the last few weeks, 3 or 4 weeks at least. and I think they're doing a good job of that. So I like Mostert to play. Obviously, Breece Hall went out for the year. Michael Carter is in. He is good. He'll fill that role pretty good. I don't think he has the. I don't think he's quite elite. Like he's just a notch below Breece Hall as far as explosiveness, but he can get out there. You see him caught 2 passes for 45 yards, long of 37, so he can get out there and break a few. And he, at Denver, and that was some tough sledding. I know Breece Hall had that one breakaway 62-yard touchdown, and that was pretty much all that they had in that run game. So keep an eye on that. I don't know. Maybe Harris gets more work this week, but they really eased him in, and maybe they got down early. I don't know. That was kind of a weird game. Mac Jones tried to play, and he was terrible, so they jerked him out and put Zap in. So I don't know where that's going. But also, Corey Davis is out, so people are probably going to want to jump over to Elijah Moore. And I kind of like way down here is Braxton Berrios, because he always seems to get a few targets, and he's kind of absorbed roles when players have gotten injured before for the Jets, and he gets a carry every now and then. So he's 20-yard rush for a touchdown rush, 2 for 27 there. So, an extra couple of touches is always good for a wide receiver. And at 3,700, you can't beat it. My second favorite. So stick around because I've got a favorite pay down wide receiver. And, when you're paying down for wide receiver, you're looking for about 3 or 4 catches and pray for a touchdown. So it's kind of like that. Now, a couple more things before we get out into the games was Washington. Brian Robinson is 5.6K. Antonio Gibson is 5.4K. I don't know if they're viable yet, but I do have a kind of a feeling the Commanders might be moving into a very run-heavy offense with Taylor Heinicke in there. So keep an eye on that because both those guys got a lot of carries. So if they can get in there and mix it up with Indy, who's starting a second-year QB, who's kind of unproven, and Ellinger. So keep an eye on that. They may want to challenge him to try to throw the ball and make this a muck it up game and try to get them a win. So I like that. Now getting into the same games I covered earlier in the week, but I'm going to go over them real quick with some new takes. Pittsburgh at Philly still looks like the smash spot it is for Jalen Hurts and then A.J. Brown. I like those two together. Devontae Smith acted like he was going to get in there, but he still is right back to like his his minimal. He's got that one big gain, but I think he can get you middling points. I mean, 6,300, that's, I really hate to be pushing it to try to 3X there, but it's not a bad stack. He does have potential. And obviously there's Dallas Goedert in there at 5K. So if you want to buck the trends, what everybody's hearing, and pay up for tight end, maybe Goddard's the guy because he still gets between 6 and 10 targets. And you never know if he has a 2-touchdown game. He could break it open for you. So that game, I haven't changed a whole lot. You still got Deontay Johnson, George Pickens, Pat Freiermuth, Chase Claypool, that whole cast of characters. You also have the Miles Sanders / Eagles defensive team for mini stacks. There's a ton of different ways to go about it there. So my opinions haven't changed a lot. That's why I wanted to get that game out of the way right quick. And then we're going to get over to the next game, which is Arizona, Minnesota. Where you at? All right. So my main takeaways on this game, it still looks high scoring. We need to monitor James Conner with the rib injury. He feels like 50-50 right now. Kyler having DeAndre Hopkins back is the 1-2 stack I would go to right away because I don't see much of a problem with Hopkins not getting double-digit targets again. Kyler's always a threat with the legs. So, but looking on the Cousins side, okay, also Rondale Moore, I think he's going to be fine. I don't see anybody cheap. But Benjamin might get thrust back in there if Connor's a no-go. Keep an eye out also for Darrell Williams down here. He's questionable this week. He's been out. He's practicing on a limited basis. So he could jump right in at 4K and take the bell cow role away from Benjamin. And that's a full $2,000 cheaper. 6K for Benjamin, that's high. I don't like that price. So obviously on the other side, Cousins has a good good setup here at home, 1 o'clock. Justin Jefferson all day. I think Thielen at 6,200 will go low owned, but I kind of feel like his upside is capped. But if Thielen was ever going to have a game, it's going to be one of these 1 o'clock home games, and he's going to get there with a touchdown or two. And he's still getting a decent amount of targets. So he's in play at 6,200. I was poo-pooing him earlier in the week, but I think with as little as KJ Osborne and even Irv Smith gets involved, Irv might be getting a little bit more blocking detail, and he might get that occasional short touchdown pass when they, play action with Cooks or whoever, and he'll get the little dump off for an easy touchdown. But for 3,500, he's not cracking double digits in my opinion. So I don't like that too much. My last takeaway is Zach Ertz. I said it earlier in the week, and it's basically, I think his safe floor is a lot less now because DeAndre Hopkins is going to be taking 5 of those targets that he's been doing, where it's 2nd and 11 and you get 6 yards to Zach Ertz to make it 3rd and manageable. Well, it's 6 yards to DeAndre Hopkins now. So I'm kind of fading on the fade train with Zach Ertz at 5,100. I don't want to pay up for that. So that's where I'm at. Pretty close to the same spot. Same with Miami, Detroit. I'm a little more bullish now that ASB and St. Brown's looking like he's a go. I think he's gonna clear concussion protocol tomorrow. I'm gonna keep an eye on Waddle with the shoulder. Jameson Williams is still out. Tyreek Hill is still gonna be my number one option as far as either side goes. Tua, I already said he's very cheap. Good price on him, 6,200. Mostert is in play. So if you want to onslaught this game, like I think I might do a big onslaught lineup, just in a large GPP, like the $5 single entry or something like that, maybe the Albatross or something like that, where you'll just play a Tua and Tyreek with maybe Mostert. The other guy that I have interest in is Trent Sherfield at 3K flat. So if anything happens to Waddle, Sherfield is my favorite 3K pay down option at wide receiver because, 3 targets, that's, what do you want for 3K, right? 44 yards. He can get down the field a little bit, as long as he had a 32-yard catch. So what you want for 3K, if you have limited targets, he got 4 in the previous game. He got 6 in week 4. So he's got potential to get there. All he needs is a touchdown, and you're going to 5X. So I like that. But that's the only real addition. I'm still pretty locked in on the way I want to play that game anyway. So we're good there. The next game, I do have some change in ideas of, if that's a phrase. Devontae Adams, keep an eye on him. A bad case of the flu. Normally I see guys sick. People get flu. You're around people in airports and traveling and all that shit. You're going to get sick. It's not COVID. It's the flu. If he's got a real bad case of the flu, it may linger till Sunday. He may be drained. He may need fluids, IVs, all that. He may come off and on the field. He may run a play and go sit 2 plays, come back in and run a play and sit a play. So his snap count might go down. I don't know. You can't quote me on that, but it does seem like it could be a possibility. So that would add targets to the cheapies like Mike Hollins, Hunter Renfrow. Also, keep an eye out on Darren Waller, 5,400. Nobody's going to pay that. Limited practice Thursday, back-to-backs. So he's trending toward returning. I don't know what will happen with him when he comes in because obviously with Adams in the mix, his target share has gone down. But he might be worth a flyer. I don't think anybody's going to play him. So keep Waller in the back of your lizard brain. Also, on the New Orleans side, it's Olave and it's Kamara. It doesn't look too good for Mike Thomas, especially, and Jarvis Landry, ancillary, because I think Landry would be closer, but with an ankle injury, it's tough. He hasn't played since week 4. And, veteran guys like that, after having 150 ankle injuries over their careers, have a hard time, getting back out on the field. And if he's not at full speed, he's probably not effective. So even if he was to play, you probably wouldn't have a whole lot going on there. Now, one thing I have heard is people talking up, and no offense to anybody that is talking up Andy Dalton as a potential game stack in this game. And if I'm wrong, then I'll be happy to be wrong. But if he throws for 361 yards and 4 touchdowns again, he used to do this at Cincinnati. He'd be like shit, 4 touchdowns, shit, 4 touchdowns. So it does just depend on the action. They seem to like him. They're keeping him at quarterback, even though Jameis is healthy. So that's interesting. But you still have Taysom Hill there and Alvin Kamara. Like I said, Olave Kamara, pretty good, but I can't just pull the trigger on that one. That's just garbage. Now, I think this might be the last game I want to cover. It's going to be nasty. It looks nasty anyway. Just keep an eye on the weather. Heavy rains, like half-inch of rain during the game. So it's going to be coming down pretty heavy. But the winds are the other thing, and it looks like about 14 to 16 mile an hour sustained winds. And depending on which direction they're blowing, could cause some real problems in this game. For a couple of guys that ain't got cannons for arms, Geno Smith and Daniel Jones. So if that wind is as bad as it looks, I'm fading both of these guys. The only person I might play is Daniel Jones because A, he runs, and B, he throws short passes. His main two weapons are going to be Saquon Barkley out of the backfield and Wan'Dale Robinson with the short intermediate routes. So if he's going to be throwing 8 targets to Wan'Dale Robinson, I think Wan'Dale could get loose and break one. They could treat Wan'Dale like a running back. I think that's coming. He doesn't have any attempts in his first couple of games back yet. But I think as he's proven healthier and gets more in the groove of being on an NFL week-to-week basis, this is his third. He played week 1, and then he didn't play again for a long time. He just came back 2 weeks ago, so he's coming on basically his third NFL game. So if he can get it going with some breakout plays, hashtag Big Blue Nation, go Cats, Wan'Dale Robinson could be a good little stack in there too. But you also have Kenneth Walker III, who's a stud running back. He's probably the run back guy or your mini stack dude or Lockett. But if with the weather the way it is, Lockett's a downfield guy. I don't see Geno Smith connecting with Tyler Lockett on too many downfield throws in this kind of weather. So I'm going to monitor that. And, of course, Barkley, obviously, about as safe as you can get with the workload. Seattle looking a bit run funnel. So the only 3 G-men I got are, especially with now Kadarius Toney's been traded, is Wan'Dale, Barkley, and Jones. I don't know about the tight end situation. They're pretty cheap. Tanner Hudson might get some love at flat end. Chris Myrick is $2,800. I don't know which 2 of those guys would get more targets. Everybody seems to think Tanner Hudson's the pass catcher of the 2, so I guess maybe. But Metcalf looks like he's going to miss. Then you have Marquise Goodwin, who's another downfield guy. So I don't know. If I play anybody from Seattle side, it's likely going to be Kenneth Walker III. So that's going to do it for this week's final thoughts / value plays, injuries, updates, just general getting yourself lined out to make your lineups for the weekend. And I suggest if you play a bunch of lineups to start getting them made and then maybe start making notes. That's what I did last week, and it worked pretty good. I missed on a couple of things from really, really having a good week, but I had an all right week. But then coming in Sunday and not having to construct all these lineups in the morning is just wait for the injury reports to come out and tweak your lineups as they may go, because you already know how you feel about the week. Not a lot. The only thing that's going to change is the actives and inactives for Sunday. And you already kind of know who's questionable. I hope I helped you out there. So also remember the 250 subs is the goal. Check the Twitter thread posted in the description. Be on the lookout for next week's PGA preview and picks show, because we are hopefully rolling this week in the Bermuda with the Scorefest that's going on there. They're going to shatter the record. I mean, it's unless there's gale force winds over the weekend, it's going to be 25 under winter kind of thing. So thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you soon.